Let's talk about Angel Reese. My God, this Unrivaled league started last night. I actually watched the first half of this game. Ooh, it is a tough watch indeed.
Remember how everyone predicted that Angel Reese would dominate the Unrivaled league? Well, her debut just happened, and wow, it was even worse than anyone could have imagined. We're talking about missed layups, turnovers, and get this, she was benched in the fourth quarter. Yes, you heard that right. The supposed star player was watching from the sidelines as her team finally started scoring points, because we're going to dissect this disastrous debut.
She's absolutely delivering on that double-double. That's right, points, rebounds, and of course, losses.
Okay, imagine this. Angel Reese, the Chicago Sky superstar, is taking the court for her first Unrivaled league game. Everyone is expecting fireworks, but instead we got something more akin to a damp sparkler. Let's talk about her big debut in the Unrivaled league. You know how everyone was getting her hyped up, but things didn't quite go as planned.
You know, I didn't have so much of a problem with the 3x3 play like I thought I was going to. That didn't really bother me. But Angel Reese played last night, and she's back to mid-season form.
You're probably thinking, come on, it couldn't have been that bad, but trust me, it was rough. Let's talk about those layups. You know, the easy shots that professional players should be able to make with their eyes closed. Something was wrong from the beginning of the game. Reese wasn't dominating like we all thought she would. These are the shots you expect a professional to make every single time, so it was like seeing a highlight video of how not to score in basketball. Reese was missing them left and right.
Just in the same way that the Chicago Sky melted last year when her double-double streak started, she cost her team a game last night.
Not only did Reese appear to be playing basketball for the first time, but her movements were all over the place, and people were saying that she looked like a baby giraffe on the court. Her teammates were giving her looks like, "What in the world are you doing?" You may be wondering if she at least put up some respectable numbers, but this is where things get interesting. Although Reese's double-double of 10 points and 14 rebounds is impressive on paper, let's take a closer look.
So Angel Reese was 3 of 7 from the field. Once again, cannot get to that 50% mark. 5 turnovers, 14 rebounds, 10 points, and a big, fat, juicy L. 79-73, her team lost the game.
Fans and analysts who were expecting Reese to light up the court were left scratching their heads because her shooting was so poor. She only made 3 out of 7 shots, which is only 42% from the field for a player of her caliber. To make matters worse, she committed 5 turnovers and 4 fouls, which is not the kind of stat line you want to see from a star player. This was supposed to be Reese's big moment, her chance to prove to everyone that she was ready for the professional level, but instead it was a showcase of missed opportunities and awkward plays.
Prime time is loading up. Angel Reese working downstairs, pump fake, toss it up, grab your own miss, no whistle, they're letting them play.
Hold on to your seats because Angel Reese's performance is going to make you reevaluate everything you believed you knew about professional basketball. If you thought the missed layups were bad, buckle up because we're about to go on a crazy ride into Turnover City, and I promise you that it's not a place you want to visit.
Turnovers, fouls, it was a disaster. Old for everything, as one person pointed out. In the fourth quarter,
let's discuss turnovers. It's like she's playing a game of hot potato outside, except the potato is charred and covered in oil. The ball touches her hands, and then it's heading the other way faster than you can say. You're watching the game with your eyes fixed on the screen, and every time Reese touches the ball, you're holding your breath wondering if she will pass it to her teammate or wrap it as a gift for the opposing team.
She's really one of the few, maybe the only one I could tell that looks this way on the court, just like out of place playing a game they've been playing. It's weird.
You may be thinking, well, everyone has bad games occasionally, but this wasn't a simple case of butterfingers. In her debut game, Reese racked up an incredible 5 turnovers. Can you believe that 5? That's like giving the other team an extra possession every quarter, and then some. And we're not talking about 1 or 2 here and there. But here's where it gets really interesting. Some of these turnovers weren't even forced. Instead, they were passes that went directly to the opposing team.
Someone said she's a below average passer. She's a terrible passer. But she's trying. You can see, like, her vision's there. Like, you can see what passes she's trying to make, but she just didn't make them.
You can see the uncertainty on her teammates' faces, as if they were playing a different game. 1 second they were wide open, calling for the ball, and the next they were watching it sail straight past them into the opposing team's waiting arms. Now you might be thinking, surely this is just rust, right? She'll shake it off. But hold that thought, because we're going to get into foul trouble. Yes, and as if the turnovers weren't enough, Reese chose to go for the double whammy and begin collecting fouls as if they were trading cards.
Reese finished with a Roses team-high 14 rebounds, 5 turnovers, 4 fouls, shot just 3 of 7 from the field, 42%, got benched for most of the fourth quarter.
You're sitting there watching the foul count rise and thinking that she can't possibly get another one, but it seems like she's trying to set a record for the most fouls in the shortest amount of time. By the end of the game, Reese had accrued 4 fouls, which puts her 1 away from fouling out completely in her debut game. Now, you might be thinking, okay, but the coach surely saw this train wreck coming, right? Well, let me tell you, what happened in the fourth quarter will make you reevaluate everything you believed you knew about basketball strategy. Can you guess where Angel Reese ended up as her team struggled for survival?
By the way, she got benched in the fourth quarter. Pulled right out of this game.
The coach had had enough of Reese's turnover bonanza and foul fest, so he decided to pull her from the game sooner rather than later. This is where it gets really interesting, people. The star player, the one everyone came to see, ended up warming the bench when it mattered most. When Ray sat down, it seemed as though someone had turned on her team and they suddenly remembered how to play basketball. The squad that had been stumbling around like they were playing blindfolded actually began moving the ball, finding open shots, and scoring points.
By the way, when she got benched, the comeback was on. What does that tell you?
You may be thinking, come on, it couldn't have been that dramatic, but I'm telling you, it was like watching 2 entirely different teams without Reese on the court. Her teammates found their rhythm and went on a scoring run that had everyone's jaws on the floor, and Reese was left to watch it all from the sidelines. You can only imagine what was going through her mind as her team began to play better without her.
Talk about a reality check, don't you?
You can see it. And of course, Aaliyah Boston plays for the Indiana Fever. Boston, she didn't have a great game either, to be honest with you. She didn't. So, Angel Reese went to doing some bragging last night. Growth of what? Missed layups. Yeah, her posting this, it backfired pretty good.
However, we must not overlook the fans. Oh, how split they were. Some people attempted to interpret Reese's performance positively by highlighting her double-double of 10 points and 14 rebounds, indicating that she was developing and getting better. Meanwhile, others were baffled, asking if they had just watched a professional basketball game or a blooper.
Once again, guys, looking like a baby deer or a baby giraffe out there. I cannot believe that somebody that looks this uncoordinated is a professional athlete. It's shocking to me.
Hot takes were all over social media, with diehard supporters celebrating her stats, like she just won MVP, while critics were having a field day with her lack of coordination and dubious decision-making. Okay, so the game is over, and you're probably thinking, well, at least Reese's fans will have her back, right? But hold on to your seats, because what comes next will make your head spin. You hop on social media expecting to see a barrage of support for Reese, but instead it's like entering a war zone, with critics out in full force and not holding back. This is where things get really interesting, though, as some fans are actually celebrating.
What the hell that is. By the way, in case you're wondering, yes, Angel Reese is getting absolutely roasted. Her fans, though, her fans are out in droves. Seriously. They are celebrating this very mid that she actually made last night. They're trying to claim that this proves she's been in the gym. And congratulations, she hit a jump shot.
You may be wondering if these people are watching the same game that we just saw, and you're not alone, because one commentator asked directly if we were watching the same game. It's as if we've entered some strange alternate reality where a terrible performance is being hailed as a triumph. Can you believe it? I mean, are we setting the bar so low that making a single jump shot is now caused for celebration?
I don't get the celebration. Making one jump shot means she was in the gym, question mark. Look, we didn't see her in the gym really and truly until this league together to start practicing. Before that, it was a whole lot of podcasts and some near OnlyFan moments.
But let's take a moment to break this down. Some fans are talking about improvement and growth, pointing to things like faster footwork and trying new things on the court. Sure, if you look closely, you might see some small signs of progress. But come on, are we really going to ignore the big picture? This is where it gets even more interesting, though, because experts are weighing in, and they're not exactly jumping for joy. One analysis stated that you want to see solid steps forward, but if she can do it occasionally, you're going to be seeing it 4 or 5 years down the line, which isn't exactly a ringing endorsement, is it?
It was a disaster in her first Unrivaled game. Good luck, Chicago Sky. You know what this tells me? Camila Cardoso is going to be sidelined again for the Chicago Sky for the sake of Angel Reese shooting those damn layups and missing them.
Not only is Reese under scrutiny, but the entire unmatched league is feeling the heat. When you see those empty stands and the vibe of the high school gym, you can't help but wonder if this is truly how professional women's basketball is supposed to look. It seems like we've regressed, and not in a positive way.
I gotta tell you, they did this league a major disservice putting the fans where they did. Now, this thing was, I think, it only holds like 900 people. All right, like 900 people in attendance. I think it was sold out. But where they put the fans, it made it look like no fans were even at these games. They need to put those fans back there where stuff that entire area where it looks like fans have actually showed up.
What will happen to Angel Reese next? Her passing is still a big weakness, according to the experts, even though her footwork has improved. It seems like she has one foot moving forward while the other is stuck in quicksand, and let's face it, in professional basketball, you need both feet firmly on the ground and moving in the proper way.